So, dude, you know that this is the sports section. This is my fun side. You know that spring training is 10 days away or something.
Are you gonna
If I wasn't working my backside off for nothing, then yes, I would go.
Right.
But yeah, so it's exciting, dude. We're getting into spring camp and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, so you excited?
Yeah.
Ready? Okay. Hello, Austin, Texas. You're listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt, where we bring sports and money together for your education and entertainment. If you have any questions about anything we say today, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And that phone number is for mortgage-related questions only. Also, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing
your
American dream. Yay! Hey, and just don't forget, if you have any questions about anything we've said or done, this is you want to see what we said.
loansfromtroy.com.
Yeah, we're the Home Team, 512 on the Wyatt, or the Facebook, which is the Wyatt's Hangout, or the YouTube 512, most definitely. Hey, and then, I think real estate, most important today, real estate, is that if you look at the laws of supply, you can go to the Facebook page at LNM Lending. LNM Lending. Let me just make sure, because it's backwards, so it confuses everybody. There is a graph, supply and demand of the housing market. It shows about the number of people and the number of houses.
Okay.
And that's a big difference. If you look 2008 and 2022, you'll see the difference and the reason why. Supply and demand laws are way more accurate than someone's clickbait opinion.
Yeah.
Right? The Fed raised the rates. It doesn't affect your mortgage because the mortgage knew it was happening and they priced it before that. And they're based off of inflation, which inflation numbers are coming way down really fast. So we do hope by September, the end of September, we'll have some good news, and the Fed will stop raising the rate, and we finally have some stability in our market. That's what we're looking for.
I like it.
And with that being said, that's the hard work. That's what we're here for. You do your work, then you have some fun. When you have some fun, you talk about a lot of things, and there is something that's I wanted to throw past you.
What's that?
So there is no denying that the Longhorn football coach, which we call Coach Sark, is considered one of the better offensive-minded coaches in the country. Right?
Okay.
I mean, that's one of the things everybody says that, right?
Right.
But his time here at the University of Texas has been marred by second half failures, letdowns, fallouts, overcomes. I mean, he has lost more than half of his games when he was leading either at the end of the third quarter, into the fourth quarter, or real close, but leading in the second half. He's lost more than half of his losses. He was leading in the second half. Right? I don't know the number, and I should have looked that up. So, the question, everybody's throwing all this thing up, and I'm like, guys, when he was the coach, the offensive coordinator at Alabama, that was not a thing, this second half thing. So everybody's thinking that he's not who he is, and what I don't think people understand is that he's the head coach now, right? He calls the plays, and he's the head coach. So he has yet to learn how to be a head coach and decipher the defense's adjustments at game time. Right? Does that make sense? Because he's the head coach. It's different. You got to. Are we punting?
Seems like you stayed up late at night thinking about this.
It was because I'm like, how can you be up 31-7 in the first half and lose the game 45-38? You know what I'm saying? The defenses are adjusting at halftime, and he is not countering the adjustment here at the University of Texas, but he was countering it at the places he was before.
Where was he a head coach at before?
He was a head coach at USC and Washington. Yes.
And what was his record there?
He took over Washington. He took over a failed team,
Okay.
and he ended up being 9-3 on his third year.
Okay.
Right. And then he was hired at USC, and I think his second year he did really good. Another 9-3 in his second year, but then his third year is when he had his personal problems and he fell off.
Okay.
And then so the third year is kind of so he that's what I'm saying is that, but the difference The difference was at those other places, he didn't have this second half issue, but he didn't call the plays, right? And that's what he said when he got here. He said, I'm going to call the plays because this is my team and I'm responsible for the offense, so I'm going to call the plays. So he's calling the plays as the head coach where he wasn't before. He was the offensive coordinator directing everything but not calling the plays.
Okay.
So I think that he hasn't quite learned how to identify, because there's just a lot going on as a head coach. You have to be paying attention to the defense and everything else because,
Right.
because you're responsible. As opposed to being an offensive coordinator sitting in the booth and just that's all you do is that. And so I think he needs that. I think, his help. I think he needs to learn how to identify those adjustments, whether it's him or someone,
It's like any business. Any business you're in, it's all about delegation.
And so I'm excited because this has been identified last year and things like that. So that gives him the whole offseason. So I am expecting a different second half offensive team this year for two reasons. One, I think that he has identified the shortcoming, set a plan in place to fix it, and he now has a fully developed football team that is of his own making. So, in the first year, 5 and 7, you're just,
It was a rough one.
oil, water,
Yeah, it was a rough one.
gas,
It was a rough
oxygen,
one.
and so, but it's hard to implement your change. He didn't have any trust. Like, hey, they can only run these 15 plays.
Right.
So if we throw this other play in there, and it's a mess. So and in the second year he developed that trust. You could see that the trust develop as the year went on. So again, we will see. I am very excited to see what's happening on this. I'm almost as excited to watch the Aggies play. I am so excited to watch the Aggies play this
Because you
year.
want to see them fail. You want to see them fail.
No. I don't want to see them fail. It's
All
like
right.
that's not. This is I want to. Okay, so when you're driving down the road and a car just spins out and goes out of control and hits the side of the road, hits the side of something, you kind of want to watch it, right? Like. Right? It has nothing to do with being the Aggies. It has to do with Mr. Fisher and Mr. Petrino.
I think it's honestly the more and more I'm reading and the more and more I'm seeing, I think it's gonna be great.
And that's why, because I will tell you now,
I think
Jimbo Fisher
they're
is
eating it
saying everything you would expect him or you would want him to say. He is saying, it is like he is reading from a press card.
Yeah.
He is saying the
Right.
absolute perfect things right now.
Right.
He is like, why would I hire him if I didn't trust him to call the plays?
But the thing is if people aren't really thinking about is Jimbo's not done, and so he needs to pass it. So if it's not going to work out, he wants to be as far away from it as possible, right? So you know what I'm saying? He was the one calling last time. Well, y'all can't get mad because I hired I listened to y'all. I listened to the masses.
Yeah.
And I hired.
So he's buying himself one more year.
That's what I'm. He's not an idiot.
Yeah.
So I don't think he is going to jump in for the fact that he can point a finger at somebody else and go, well, we just fire him and hire someone else because he didn't want to get fired, right?
Well, he can't get fired. He's got a guaranteed contract.
He can. He can. They can
go
buy him
sit
out.
at home
They
and
can
make
buy him
this-
out. Yeah, they
they-
can buy him out.
yeah,
But he's. I think he's like a like Longhorns old coach. I just went blank on his name. Why was one on my brain today? But
Herman?
no,
Strong?
One of the best recruiters of all time.
Mac Brown?
Thank you. I don't know why I went blank. Mac Brown. He's like a Mac Brown. Mac Brown wasn't the best play caller in the world. Not at all. One of the best recruiters of all time. They won national championships because of his recruiting. Mm-hmm. And so once he started letting other people play the calls or call the plays rather, they started winning. So I think it's a smart move. I'm excited to see what they can do with it.
Yeah. And so here's, just so y'all know online when you're watching this, this is what I'm waiting for. To see 4th and 2, and you've been running all day long. You've been running. You're averaging like 5 yards a run. 4th and 2. And Petrino sees the box loaded and calls a pass play. He's like, I've been dreaming for this one play. I've been scheming for this is the play. I've been playing. And Jimbo goes, absolutely, because this is what he's going to do. He's going to turn around. And he's going to look up at the booth where he's sitting, and he's going to yell at him. I'm telling you, this is.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't know. We're going to see.
I think it's going to happen.
But I'm telling you
I
what,
think
I have gone and bought 72 boxes of popcorn so that I can sit and watch every game. I may never
72 boxes of popcorn.
I may actually never watch a game, but I'm gonna TiVo them. I say that because Mac Brown said TiVo. I'm gonna TiVo them in your honor. I'm gonna TiVo them all so that I have the game on hand
All right.
that it happens because I want to see it. I want to see it live, but I'm gonna have to see it live. But I want to see it real.
I'm hoping it happens. I'm hoping it happens.
You're hoping it happens?
No, that they're successful.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm hoping it happens, that they click together. Because you know what?
I tell you what.
Nothing like two strong Texas teams coming back to play each other after a long.
Do you know that they
drought.
have never really played each other as two strong teams?
Well, there's been some years. There's been
And
some
they've
years.
never played each other for a meaningful game. They have never played for like the winner of this game wins the conference.
Well, yeah.
They have never had that game. In 100 years, they've never had the game. It's the weirdest thing to
I
me.
don't know about that.
No, one
I'll do my
team.
research.
It's really weird. Yes, but one team has always been good, and the other team has always been bad.
Like back when Metcalf was awesome and they were doing really good, they beat him.
That was the Aggies were. That was the Jackie Sherrill Payham years.
Yeah.
They were
That was the Blitz
they
brothers,
were
yeah.
phenomenal
Yeah,
then,
that's
and the
right.
Longhorns weren't.
Yeah, they're good.
They were not.
Only because they got beat.
They were not. No. They had the miracle year of '82. Other than that, the '80s were horrible. Trust me, I was in high school. I remember every year.
I remember the Aggies.
$3 tickets, empty
Yeah,
stadium.
the Aggies were what? Six,
That was-
six,
yeah.
6-4 on that in those 2 years in the 80s. 6-4.
I don't remember the exact numbers. I just remember the 75-38.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. Football's about to start.
Dude,
Hunting
spring,
season's about to start.
fall camps is everybody's getting
Can't wait.
stretching out,
Can't
loosening
wait.
up, working on their diet plans, all that sort of stuff. Super excited, and so it's like I want to say it's not like the poltergeist they're back. It's not like that. It's more like Arnold Schwarzenegger ought to be back. It's an exciting time.
It is exciting.
Just a few more weeks camp. We'll be bringing in as much information as we can, and just so you know, I am as excited as Wyatt to watch the Aggies, but for completely different reasons. Hey everyone, you've been listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt. We hope you've enjoyed what you've heard. If you have any questions about anything we said, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com. Give me a call 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage. And we will see you next week. Hook 'em horns.